Hi, everyone. Mary Ellen Vanaken in the North Atlanta, Georgia area. And we have another great episode today of Inside the World of Real Estate. And we are talking to Kina Knisley. And the reason why I said that is because everyone always does not pronounce her name correctly. So we're just kind of joking around with it this morning. And she is from the great place of Hawaii. I mean, how cool is that? Can you imagine living in Hawaii? I'm just like floored at that. So she's in Oahu, Hawaii, and it's so much fun. So I love Hawaii. So let's dig into introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
So my name is Kina Knisley. I've been an agent on Oahu for 8 years. I was a school teacher before that in Heidelberg, Germany. So then my husband's job brought us to the island, and I homeschooled and ran the largest homeschool community on the island for about 3 years. And then my daughter went to college. So then my real estate agent, when we bought our house, day one, after the end of the day, we looked at like 6 houses, right? And she looks at me and she goes, "You need to get your real estate license. You would be really good at this." And of course, I gave her pushback because I didn't know anybody. I had just moved here, and I thought there's no way I can sell a house. She called me every 6 months for 3 years. And I kept telling her, I don't know anybody. I'm too busy. I don't know, I can't sell houses. And then finally, after 3 years, she's like, "I'm on your Facebook page. You know more people than I do on this island. Get your license." So I did get my license, and, as all new agents, it was pretty slow. Well, most new agents. I only did 3 transactions that year. And then the second year at about 6 transactions, I was at Coldwell Banker, and I started getting the calls from the other, brokerage.
Of course.
And I'll be honest, my husband looked at how much I was sharing with Coldwell Banker, and he's like, "All those other brokerages, why don't you give them a call?" So I did end up talking to a couple, and then I really loved what KW had to offer. I loved the classes and the training, and now I teach those classes that I loved about KW. I moved to KW.
That's because you're a teacher. That's what I love. It's like, it's so funny, like talking to people and seeing what their background is, and then you can just see, just knowing you, see how you're such a giving, loving, with so much energy, because you have to have energy when you're dealing with kids.
I taught 7th grade, so you kind of have to have a sense of humor too, because they're
so, absolutely, and that's what we love about the sense of humor. So tell us about, so we've just listened to why you got into real estate and a little background on yourself. How about tell us about the wonderful island that you live in?
So we do have an amazing island. It's always beautiful. It's summer year round, which we were talking. There are drawbacks to that. You're not jumping in fall leaves, and there is no snow. And I've got winter clothes up being stored in crates in the garage. But it is beautiful. There's definitely, the Aloha spirit is real. People are so nice, and we've got so many different. You've got people from Asia, people from Europe. It's just kind of a little melting pot of different people along with the islanders. So it's just lots of caring, and the more you give, the more you get back. I always tell people it's a magical little island, lots of karma here. So you want to be nice, because really, the more you give, the more you get back from this island. So, but it is, we do have a little higher price point than some people are used to, but you don't pay it all at once. It's spread over 30 years. So you're good.
There you go. I love that. You don't pay it all at once. You pay it within 30 years. So who cares what the price is?
Right? I know, it's sticker shock. It is sticker shock when you're looking at those prices, but really it's spread out over 30 years. And honestly, are you going to stay there for 30 years? No, it's your starter home. You're going to get another home in a few years. So
how big is the starter home? And what does it cost?
I'll tell you our average price point last month, only because we did have that outlier of a $65 million sale, kind of messed up our numbers. But our average for February was 1,185. That will get you a 1,500 square foot 3-2 and about a 5,000 foot square lot. Yeah, you're not. I'll get people here that'll say, "Oh, I want acreage." There is no acreage. We've used it, and we're not making more. And we've built out everything, right? So there is no more to build. Unfortunately, I think we're building up now because there's no way to build out. So, and those, when they build up, those condos are starting at about 1.2, and for 648 square feet condo.
Wow. Yeah.
And then of course
so
you run into the we're having the maintenance fee issues with the insurance, because our insurances are quadrupling. But I tell my condo buyers, my home insurance went up too. So you don't, you got to look
Whether
at
you're
it.
in a house or a condo, it's still going up. So it
You're
really doesn't matter.
For hurricane, flood, you're just going to pay more. And then, but yeah, so we're struggling with maintenance fees. We're struggling with just the high cost.
Yeah. Well, that's normal. So basically you sell condos, homes, and you said there's no land to be, there's no land to be, right?
Not a lot of land. I did sell I think it was 1,200 square foot little triangle shaped lot for $287,000 last year. Yeah.
Did they build on it? What did they build on it, on that small?
I drove by it the other day. They still haven't built anything. It did have plans for a tiny little home. But really, you could buy something like that and put a container home on there and have to deal with building permits. So,
okay, great. Great. That's so exciting. So tell us about the most desirable neighborhoods in your area and why. Why are they so desirable?
So I work with a lot of VA buyers. My business is VA buyers and investors who fix and flip. So the VA buyers tend to lean towards Mililani. It's very close to Schofield Barracks, which is a large Army installation, not too far from Hickam, Pearl Harbor, which is Navy Air Force. The schools do score a little higher. If you go to the school rating site, the schools are about a 9 out of 10. Because they do get that extra funding for having military students enrolled. So they do. The school's a little bit better. It's in the middle of the island, so the commute to the North Shore or to town it's a little bit easier. Military also like Eva Beach and Kapolei because you get more bang for your buck. You can probably get single family.
Wait, let's stop here. What's more bang for your buck? I want to hear this.
So in Mililani, single family homes, $1 million and up.
Okay.
I got one listed right now, $1,025,000. That is a great deal, but the rest are like 1.2. 1.2 and up in Mililani for 3.2. You can go to Eva and Kapolei, get your single family home for $8,850. It is a little further out. It's closer to Koalina. Kapolei is the second city. It's where the rail starts. So it is growing, but it's definitely, we struggle with, the time it's going to take you to get to work. And my favorite part of the island is the Hawaii Kai area, because everything, you can get so much, and there's all these little canals that were initially built to, for flooding, but to mitigate flooding, but now they're just beautiful little canals, and you can get condos on those canals, some single family homes on the canals, townhomes that feel like single family homes. Now they will all have an HOA and a marina fee, but you're right on the water. You can have a little boat. So that's my favorite part of the island. It's not super convenient for military because it's kind of on the east side, but, and then I work with investors who fix and flip, and they want Kailua, Kaneohe, just because, for example, there's a home listed that needs probably $200,000 in work for $799 in Kailua, but you could turn that into a $1.2 million house. So, because right now there's that one in Kailua for $799. The next one is 1.25. That's the difference.
Interesting. So where are all these buyers besides military? Where are they coming from? You said
no, not a lot of local, a few local. Mostly we are getting people coming in from the mainland, second home buyers, people who are retiring and they have dreamed of living in Hawaii. A lot, I get doctors. I have some dentists that are coming in now to start a dental practice. Nice. So, we don't have a major industry here. It's tourism. But have a lot of people, so you need things like auto mechanics, doctors, lawyers, dentists, anything you would need. And so all those people are, they come and go. But yeah.
So that's, yeah. So really industry wise, it's, it's tourism and military, right? That's about it, right?
We don't have, unfortunately, they don't focus on tech. We're not bringing in the big, companies to build anything.
It's so expensive, right? Because it's expensive. Because it's expensive, right? So yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, but who wants to live in Hawaii? Everybody wants to live in Hawaii, but they don't want to pay the prices, right? And then how much is a gallon of milk right now?
It's $8 for a half gallon. So you're looking at $16 a gallon. It's not cheap.
I remember every time when I would go to Hawaii and visit, and I would just like, oh, a gallon of milk. Oh, that's really expensive. But everything has to come in, right? It has to be imported, So I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And you're buying the location.
You're buying a lifestyle. I will tell you, we have 5 kids. They all visit. We don't even have to beg our kids to visit. They tell me it's because they love me. And I'm thinking, if I lived in Nebraska, you probably wouldn't love me as much.
Right. So you have 5 kids. Where do they all live? Curious.
So one is in Pittsburgh. One is just moved to Colorado Springs from her husband's active duty. One is in Wyoming, going to school in Wyoming. And 2 of our kids stayed in Germany. One is an English teacher and one is in school. So,
what part of Germany did you live in?
We were in Heidelberg. It's beautiful. Beautiful castle. Just, it was the romantic city. We were there 30 years. I love it. But they closed our base and we came here.
Yeah. So what's your biggest challenge on the island?
It's hard knowing, you are far away from family and all of our kids, they're not here. So, you have to get off the rocks. So when I do, I try to go to, different real estate related things so I can write that ticket off. And then I go visit the grandkids and try to stay off the island for at least a few weeks. And then, just the affordability is not easy. You figure it out though. You're just, you don't go out to eat as often, or, you make your coffee at home. You don't go spend the $7 on the Starbucks coffee.
Oh, Starbucks is only $7 in Hawaii. I thought it would be more.
No, that's the regular Starbucks. If you go to resort areas, it's $9. Yeah, for burnt coffee. You do have, it's not that you get lonely, but you do, you kind of miss family.
Sure.
Just know that you want to get off the island. It's expensive to get off the island because you have to fly. There's no other way.
Right. Well, you could take a cruise ship or something. That would be fun.
Yeah, there is. You can do that. There's a Disney cruise that'll drop you off in Vancouver if you want to get off the boat.
There you go. I love that. All right. So tell me about this. So this is probably the big draw. What are the hobbies that everybody does? What are the activities? What are you really known for? I think you kind of know, but go ahead.
Yeah, of course, it's water sports. We everywhere there's the beach. We, got great beaches. I personally think we probably have the best beaches because they're so big. You go to Maui, not to knock Maui, but their beaches are sort of super thin. Not a lot of space.
They're not thick. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have pretty wide beaches. Some are, like Waikiki. That sand is brought in from Maui because it erodes quickly, but it's a wide beach. But you can go out to the west side. Makaha Beach is probably my favorite beach because it's just huge and you're not stepping over bodies on the beach. And it's just beautiful. It's quiet. You can go out to the North Shore. There's beautiful.
I love the North Shore. Oh my goodness. The North Shore was one of my favorites. We had gone last time we were one of the times we were in Hawaii, we were at the, in Honolulu there. It was just too much. And we went up to the North Shore and it was I thought Hawaii is.
It is. It's just nature.
Yeah, the Hilton Hawaiian Village. That's where we were for one night. And then I was like, we're going somewhere else. So, because, when you think of Hawaii, you really think of those really nice, quiet beaches, nice and wide, but that's just not there. If you want
that in Waikiki.
No, definitely not.
So
So,
like Malo has a great, it's called Sherwood's Beach. It's right by Bellows Air Base, but so Bellows is there. Obama's house is here, and there's a beach in between called Sherwood's, and it's just so quiet, and the water's just that crystal blue. And so, and then hiking is another, it's free. It's a free thing.
I love it. Like the free activities, right? Yeah. Well, and you have surfing, right? So that does cost some money, but once you have your,
you have your surfboard and you can get out there. Yeah. So water sports, hiking, or, we don't have, we don't have a big music scene. We don't have, we don't get the shows because they just don't stop here. So as far as
that's really outdoor activities. Now, what about like tennis and pickleball?
There's pickleball courts being put in everywhere. There's one right down from our house on Wailai. Yeah. So that's a big sport. A lot of the condos are putting in pickleball courts.
Nice.
It's great because it gets people outside to, again, they're outside, they're exercising.
Right.
I mean,
and it's social too. Like pickleball is social. Like I play both. I play tennis and pickleball. And I love tennis for the activity, where pickleball, even though it's tough, I mean, it is tough, but it's more of a social scene, it's more a little bit more laid back. It's not as, although I don't know, the way I play everything, it's kind of like that. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. So really like you said, no cultural scenes, no museums, theaters, or anything else like that.
We have the Bishop Museum with Hawaiian culture. They have a little science section, a planetarium. But most of these are people that like to get out, do stuff, stay active. I mean, we are one of the healthiest states in America because you're outside, you're moving, so that you're not bundled up for the winter, not being able to go out.
Right. So you're always outside and about. So tell me about like the food scene there. Like what are some of the popular foods?
So a lot of Asian fusion.
Okay.
And so a lot of sushi, a lot of seafood. I personally will not eat seafood outside of Hawaii, especially landlocked states.
I agree 100% for you. I totally agree with that one. Yes. Yeah. You get that fish that was like 10 years old. No.
I'm always a little apprehensive. So my favorite is a steakhouse. It's High Steakhouse. We started in, I think he started in Canada as the first one. We've been in, was it Calgary? The very first Highs, but this one is no longer part of that Highs family. He lost it in a poker game. But it's still delicious. It's high-end steaks, and it's just, it's best escargot I've ever had. But mostly, lots of sushi, lots of seafood. Roy's is another one of our favorites. He's kind of has different, he's a local, but lots of restaurants dotted all over the island where it's Asian fusion and his.
So you're going to get that Asian fusion, a lot of culture in your area. I mean, tons of culture, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then you got to get spam musubis. I'm sorry, but 7-Eleven has the best spam musubis. And I look like I shouldn't be eating those. I shouldn't. They're not healthy, but I do. They're delicious. Loco Moco at Rainbow Drive-In. So I don't really like mine on rice. I like it over French fries because if I'm going to eat, hamburger, egg, and gravy, why not throw the French fries in there too?
Yeah, why not, right? Why not? Why not? When I think of Hawaii and I think of luau's and the culture there, so tell me a little bit about that and where you see that around the islands.
So we do have, all the hotels, the major hotels have their luau. Paradise Cove has a luau. I think Germain's is still open. So it is something the tourists go to. When people visit, they want to do a luau. They want to do Pearl Harbor. I'm at the point now, I just send them. Go ahead, I'll drop you off.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Everybody wants to. And Pearl Harbor it's so beautiful. It really is. It's really a place that everyone needs to go see. If you're in Hawaii and you don't go to Pearl Harbor, shame on you.
It is. And it's, but it's pretty emotional for what happened, but it is, it's part of our history. And and just, if you ever do visit, please don't pay for a tour. It's free to get in. It is it's a
you don't need to pay for a tour. It's free.
$8 for the ticket on Waikiki. It just drives me crazy. I walk down the Waikiki and they're wanting $80 to take you to Pearl Harbor. It's free. Uber over there.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit, is there any kind of traffic or commuting situations, or where does everybody work? Or do they work all over the island, or is
Seems
this
like
an
the
area?
opposite side of the island and where they live, because they're always on the road. Traffic is soul crushing. It is it's awful. It is awful. And
Really?
I don't even know how these people, they're flipping cars lately. I don't know how they're getting the speed up to flip a car, because I have a dog barking. Sorry.
It's all good. It's normal. That's what life is about. The dog in Hawaii. How lucky is that dog living in Hawaii?
I know, because they can play outside in the big backyard and go to the beach, and they go on hikes, and yes. But traffic is a problem. I don't know what they're going to do about it. We did put in a $25 billion rail.
Wow.
Because it goes from nowhere to nowhere. And you need your car. I mean, imagine I couldn't take a rail to go show houses. I have to be on the road. I will say I only show between 9 and 3. If you want to see anything after that, I call a showing agent, because I'm not leaving the house after 3. You can be on the road for an hour and 15 minutes to go 14 miles.
Oh, wow. So that actually is, that's a problem. You know what I mean? That is just something that people don't realize.
Yeah. And there's just not really a solution, because we don't have the land to expand the lanes. I just talked to somebody, I believe in Dallas. They were saying, I was just in a mastermind earlier, that they keep adding lanes.
Yeah, we're doing that here too in Georgia. So
yeah, well, we have no land to add the lanes, because what are you going to do with the buildings that are there?
Right.
You can't add a lane. You can't, you're just kind of stuck. And we do have some new builds going on the west side in Evankapolei. They have 9,000 more houses being built. And,
wow.
And unfortunately on this island, you both have to work to afford a home. So that's 2 cars. That's 18,000 more cars. There's not 18,000 jobs out there. They have to come into town. So that's over the next 7 years that they're going to build those, 7 to 9 years. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I don't know what the solution is.
So let's talk about the vibe of your island.
So it's very laid back. One of the things coming from Germany, I was always 15 minutes early, or you're late, right? Here, show up on time. They look at you like, why are you already here? So it's definitely Hawaii time. If you really want people to show up, when you really want them there, just give them 30, 45 minutes, tell them, about a half an hour earlier than you really want them to show up, because Hawaii time is real. Nothing happens fast, but it's kind of good, because you're a little more relaxed. I've learned to let go over the years of my, I got to be there on time. So, and it is, lots of people are super caring, super giving. Again, the more you give, the more you get. I am big into community service. So I feel like that karma comes back. And we're talking about dogs. I love Hawaii SPCA. That's who, the Oahu SPCA is who we kind of take care of that, and schools, because they're all struggling. So we do a lot of donating to the SPCA, a lot of donations to schools. But really, they give it back tenfold. They just do. It comes back. I've never had an issue. I know, you'll hear, they don't like foreigners coming, or no, if you're kind to them, they're kind back to you. They really are. I have never had a problem. So,
the whole vibe is just like, and I think everyone's always happy in Hawaii, right? Is anyone
beautiful every day? You get a sense of family here, because it is, big Ohana, lots of families living in multi-generational homes. But then also, I have a group that gets together every Wednesday. That's my family. This group has met for 27 years. I've been with the group but we get together every Wednesday night for a different happy hour. But that's my family. They come over to my house for Thanksgiving. They've even used my house for Thanksgiving when I wasn't home.
There you go. Talk about family. It's all. I
have a bigger house. So they've used my house to host Thanksgiving to my daughter. I was with my daughter, and she saw it on Facebook. She goes, "Mom, isn't this your house?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Why are those people using your dishes and having Thanksgiving?" And I'm like, well, because they needed to use the house.
They need a bigger place to house all your family friends, right? All in Hawaii. So I guess we kind of talked about, you and look, what I know about you is you come from a teacher background, you come from contribution, you give a lot of love, and you are so involved in the community. So why wouldn't you want to do business with someone like you? Because that is just incredible. I mean, it's just incredible type of person you are. And sometimes you don't see that a lot in real estate. And I love, talking to my referral partners and telling people these people are great. Like if I have someone going to Hawaii, they're getting this video because they get to know you before they even meet you, right? And I think that more people have to be more selective when choosing a realtor and choosing somebody that fits their needs and stuff. So that's what I really love about you is you're just so kind and loving. You're a teacher background and you come from such great contribution. You're always learning and you're always wanting to help people, which I really, really love. So we know about the climate. We don't have to even go into, there's no fall seasons. We know that all your winter clothes is sitting in the garage. Maybe you should go somewhere cold every once in a while and then you can use them, right?
Yeah.
Why not, right? So what do you personally and your husband and your family and your dogs, what do you like to do for fun outside of real estate?
So we do love to go hiking. We like to take the dogs up. We have a great hiking spot just above our house. Just a few blocks up the road. Take the dogs up there, let them run around. They love, they think they're adventure dogs. They're not these pampered little things they are. And so hiking, we do like to go to the beach. I love to eat. Unfortunately, I do love my happy hours. I love to go just try different food. And then traveling, which, in real estate, as soon as you plan a trip, you get a ton of business. So,
right. But also think about it, like for you, like for the average person going on vacation, an airplane ticket somewhere is, can be not that expensive. But when you're leaving Hawaii or coming to Hawaii, those tickets are up. They're expensive. So you might not be able to do as many trips as the average person because of how expensive things are.
And there's definitely no road trips. You're not packing the car and going on.
Yeah, there's somewhere to go, right? How long would it take you if you went around the islands?
So you can, it's called the Circle Island Tour.
Okay.
And it will take visitors. It will take you about 9 hours.
Okay.
And we cannot go all the way around our island. The road does end. And I call it the end of the world. The road ends because there's a bird sanctuary.
Oh, nice.
So the road ends, and it ends at the bird sanctuary because you can't drive over to the North Shore. You got to turn around and go all the way back around, and then up through the middle of the island, and then get back on the road, and then you can get on the North Shore, take a left, and again you hit the bird sanctuary. So there's a little corner of the island. They can't disturb it because at 90 days out of the year, I can't remember their names. They have like a 90 or 3-foot wingspan. They only spend 90 days on land when they breed or later.
So cool. That's so cool. Like
so you really have to but to go around from starting in where I live in town, you can go up through Hawaii, up the coast, Waimanalo, Kailua, Kaneohe, up to Turtle Bay, the North Shore, then back down.
Turtle Bay. I love Turtle Bay. That's what I say.
Turtle
Bay.
There's some great rentals up there, but now they're up to 1.1 million. You used to could grab them pretty inexpensive, and I just went and walked one, 1.1. But they are making about 10K a month, so I don't know.
Right. It makes sense, investors too. And I think that people have to realize that, even going in with a couple people on an investment property.
Yeah. That's what,
So do you have a lot of Airbnbs or are they allowed or is it short-term rentals, long-term rentals?
They are in an itty bitty area. So we had Bill 41 came through, I think about 3 years ago, which really condensed where they are legal. So legal nightly rentals are only in resort zones, which if you're familiar with Waikiki, there's Kalakaua that runs along the ocean.
Yep.
And then the street out is Kahio. Now, literally from the middle of the road in Kahio, the dotted line, not the whole road, just the dotted line to the ocean, you can do legal nightly rentals. From the middle of the road of Kahio to the Aloha, they're no longer legal. So you have to do 30-day.
So you have 30 days, like really a minimum, in other places.
nightly to the ocean, 30-day to the Aloha or to the mountains. Turtle Bay, you can do nightly. Koalina, there's one section, one building you can do nightly. The rest are 30-day. The nightly rentals in Koalina start at about 2.2 million.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Nice.
you can get 30 days, which a lot of corporate companies, those are, 800 up to 2.2 million. Beautiful homes. I mean, it's in a little resort areas. I sell those to people who just live there too, because it's you're in a resort area,
so pretty, right?
the Four Seasons, and then you get to live right there. So, but they're man-made lagoons, the perfectly little round lagoons. Those are all man-made. He brought that
It's just
sand.
so pretty. I just, So why would you leave Hawaii when, let's talk about some of you. Obviously, you've intensely traveled around the world like myself. And where are some of your favorite spots you've been or places you want to go?
So I do love Italy. I mean, I was fortunate enough to live in Europe for so long with our kids, and we traveled everywhere. I mean, Austria, Italy, we'd ski in Austria, we'd ski in Italy, we'd, go to France because we just wanted some raclette. You could go to Switzerland because you wanted fondue. We would drive to France to get wine and cheese because it was like 45 minutes.
Exactly. Exactly. My husband's from Belgium, so it's half an hour to the Netherlands and half an hour to Germany. So, it's so easy in Europe. And that's why we say if you ever study, your kids study in Europe or they're over in Europe, they have to take advantage of just going everywhere there because it's so easy. You can go everywhere for a weekend there, which is incredible. So,
yeah. Now I haven't done Asia. I keep telling myself we will. So eventually I will.
And that's so interesting because you're in Hawaii. It's so easy to get to Asia. What's wrong with you?
I know. I keep going back to the and then Australia is definitely on the list.
And that's so easy to get from
so
you're at too. You did all the hard stuff first. And
I know.
So when you moved to Hawaii, why did you move to Hawaii?
My husband's job brought us here. So
he's military? Is he military?
Was a contractor that supported the military.
Okay.
So he came home one day. They were closing our base. Heidelberg was shutting down. And he came home one day and said, you got to quit your job. We're moving to Hawaii. And it was funny is when I met him, we dated for, I think, 5 years. But I would tell him, I'm never leaving Europe unless you can move me to Hawaii. Then we got married and we'd been married a year. And he came home one day and he goes, you got to quit your job tomorrow. We have to move to Hawaii. And I was like, yeah, that'd be nice. He goes, no, really, you have to quit your job tomorrow. I have to be there. And I was like, oh my God, because I'd always told him I was never leaving Europe unless you move me to Hawaii. So here, and we were going to stay 2 years and we were going to go back because he got kicked out. He was there 18 years. And German government said, you've been here so long, you need to become a citizen, you need taxes. We said, okay. They said, okay, we want 5 years back taxes. We went, yeah, nope. That's
why you moved to Hawaii. There you go. That's why you moved to Hawaii.
2 years and we were going to go back. But I got here and then I was just home. So we've been here 12 years and I'm home. He's not so much. He stays because I love it. But It's just people. It's the relationships. I don't want to leave. It's home. It's expensive, but it's home. What you just got to do, what we did with our home, we bought a fixer upper for $800,000. We could not live in it. She had holes in the floor, big holes, not little holes, big holes. We put $180,000 into this house to make it livable. So we're in under $1 million, and she just appraised for 1.6. Nice. Now she's not fancy. She's not fancy. I do have a backyard, which I'm fortunate to have a backyard. She's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,700 square feet on a 5,000 square foot lot. But I can see the ocean. I'm about 15 minutes from Waikiki, but I try to get, and we were able to purchase on a hard money loan and get the money for the rehab, make those payments for a year because contractors move in Hawaii time. They do not move fast.
I was just going to ask you, that was my next question. How the heck did you get that done? You know what I mean?
For a year. Yeah. We had a lot of top ramen because I was not selling as many houses as I am now. So 2 house payments for a year, but we bought on a hard money loan. Then we refinanced into my husband's VA loan. So It's totally doable. You just got to learn the tips and tricks to buy here, you don't necessarily need to come in and drop 1.6 million. If you have some time, you can be a little patient, then you can get some good deals. And now, when we refied, it was into that 2.75. I'm never selling this house. I'm one of those. I'm one of those that we're all
I'm never leaving.
talking about on social media. House because you're under 3%. I'm never selling this house. I'm gonna rent it out.
Nice. That's an experience just going through that. As and just dealing with, because that was my question was, like, contractors, how long, like you said, they're on their own time. They take, I could see, like, people I know would bring, like, I have a lot, from New York originally, and I have a friend and he has some investment properties, and he actually brought his guys from New York to, South Carolina to do stuff because he knew it would get done quicker than the South time. So,
because we will flip houses every once in a while. We've probably flipped 17 houses in the last 5 years. Yeah, contractors, they'll tell you 8 weeks. They're lying. They're lying.
They're not telling the truth. They're lying. There you go. They're lying.
Because they're not going to get done in 8 weeks. And then even just getting them to call you back. I have a client right now. She needs a bathroom done. I must have a database of 20 contractors. She can't get somebody to do a bathroom.
Oh my goodness. That's a challenge too. Think about that. That's a challenge for anybody in real estate. If they're trying to get things done and it can't get done, you're like, oh my goodness. So
it is. Materials are expensive. They're expensive anywhere. They're extra expensive here because they got to be shipped here. Cabinets, drywall, wood. So flipping houses here is no joke. It can be done. You got to run those numbers pretty closely.
Yeah, you have to run that budget really, really tight, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. So I have another question for you. What has been the most rewarding real estate transaction for you, and why?
Honestly, I think earlier we were joking about price points, that I feel bad for those people in lower price points, but I had to think about that. My favorite, I sold a $190,000 condo. My buyers were in their, late 40s, never bought a house. He works for a security company. She'd just gotten a job at the prison. They have a 3-year-old. They were pre-approved at $300,000 total. That wasn't, so then you have to account for the maintenance fees, right?
And the maintenance fees and taxes and everything else.
And I just tell people our property taxes are relatively low, but I would tell everybody every $100 maintenance fee is $20,000 your buying power. So if the maintenance fees are $500,000 or $500 a month, that knocks off $100,000. So really I had to find something at $200,000 with a $500 a month maintenance fee. They had given up. We looked, we couldn't get their approval up higher. We looked at a few places, they just couldn't fit in their budget. They'd given up. And then this one pops up for $190,000 with $500 a month maintenance fees. And I called them and I begged, please just go look at it with me. If you don't like this one, if it doesn't work, I will not bother you again. Please just look at it. Let's just look at it. So we go. I had to convince the husband. We go, we look at it. And he's like, okay, we can buy this? I said, yes. And you're going to live here for 5 years, because when he is 8, and I pointed at the adorable little boy, you're going to rent this one out, because Section 8 will cover the Section 8 price that you can get for rentals, will cover your payment and your HOA. So in 5 years, you're going to pull the equity out of this one. You're going to rent this one out, and we're going to buy you something bigger. And he looks at me and he goes, I can do that? And I'm like,
oh, that makes you feel so good, doesn't it?
I can help you. I'm not leaving you. I can help you do that. And he was just amazed that he could actually build a rental portfolio starting at $190,000. And so they're on year 2. And I just keep, watching it go up. And we were fortunate to get that FHA loan where they got the grant. So they didn't even have to come in with money. They had to come up with their closing. But they got the grant that they didn't have to repay for the 3.5% down. So they already have equity, because they didn't even put that 3.5% in. The grant did. And I just keep watching it. And when they get enough equity, we can pull it out.
What is it worth now?
They're going for $230 now. And we paid one.
And how big is it? Is something like that?
This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, probably 750 square feet out on the west side.
Yeah, but that's not bad to live in paradise.
To live in now, and it's they work at night, so the traffic isn't horrible for them. And they're building equity and they own their own home. And I just posted, it was cute. I just posted a video about rent, what it costs to rent. Because we all know renting, you are still buying a house just for someone else.
Yes.
Right? So I posted a video and she was the first one to comment on, this is so true. You don't want to rent, because they had rented. I mean, they were not young. He was actually my age. He's 54. She was in her 40s. But and he'd always rented, never bought. And now here he is, a homeowner, and he knows, oh my gosh, I can turn this into a rental and I'm going to buy something else.
But let's talk about rentals. Like how expensive are rentals?
I will tell you, my neighbor rents her home out. It's a little smaller than mine. She gets $6,000 a month with a $10,000 deposit.
Wow.
So $6,000 a month, and it's smaller than mine. It has a 1,000 square foot house. It's a 3-2, no air conditioning. I have AC. Not everybody has AC.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. That's an interesting question, because don't you get some great winds, so you don't really need air conditioning?
But then you have to leave your windows open, and everything blows, and it gets dusty and dirty. It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So we do have AC, but our electric is 47 cents a kilowatt hour. So it was 12. So you definitely want solar panels, because you're paying 37 cents a kilowatt hour if you don't have solar panels. So you can get electric.
You're probably the only place in the world that is good to have solar panels, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. You definitely want them, because you can get electric bills $1,000 a month if you don't have solar panels. So yeah.
So do a lot of the condos then they have solar panels on top of them? Is that what it is?
In the parking garage, on the parking garages, there'll be the seat on the roof. We're getting a lot of solar farms now. Even our electric company has solar panels. So
that's really interesting. And that's something that I never even thought about, but this is something that our viewers need to know, right?
Just know be ready to either purchase solar panels or get a home that already has them, or lease them. I know people don't like to lease them, but that's better than not having them, because at least you have a set what your electric bill is going to be. It's going to be your lease fee plus your connection fee, and you know what it's going to be. And you still can't.
What are the, like you said, if you don't have solar, it's going to cost you $1,000 a month.
And
when you have solar, what is it going to be?
21. So ours is 21 a month. If you lease, it's $220.
$21?
Yeah. For the connection.
No way. That's a no-brainer.
We don't use all of our power. If you overuse the power. And for example, before we got the solar panels, our electric bill was $450 for the two of us. My daughter came home during COVID from college, which is 5 minutes down the hill, and she lived in the dorm, but she had to come home during COVID. Our bill went up to $750. I don't know what she was eating the electricity. I don't know. It's like, what are you doing to have, someone use so much electric? But yeah, you just have to mentally prepare for that. Just know you're going to have.
So how much does solar, how much did your solar system?
We had 36 panels. It was $80,000, but then we got a $60,000 tax credit. So
that's a no-brainer there too.
Yeah. So it was kind of a wash. Well, definitely at $1,000 a month. I mean, we are two people, and it was $450, but that's when it was 12 cents a kilowatt hour. They have since gone to 47 cents a kilowatt hour.
Great.
So,
well, we've learned so much about Hawaii in this little time that we've been together. So is there anything else you want to add to our
don't be afraid. Don't let sticker shock scare you. It's totally worth it. And I definitely do not recommend renting on this island. I know it's such an easier way. You think, oh my gosh, it's easier. No, you're making someone else wealthy. And they love you. Believe I own rentals. I love my people that rent, but do I think they should? No.
But they're making money, right?
I own a home in Macon, Georgia. We paid $57,000. He pays me $930 a month. He's been in that house for 13 years. I bought it with it in it. I mean, he could have $930 a month. I paid $57,000. He could have bought that house at least twice.
10 times over. Yeah. Yeah.
So don't let the sticker shock scare you. It is totally doable. We have different strategies. You have the grant for the FHA loan, and our FHA is up to 804 now. So I can get you a single family home. Not here in town, but out of Kapolei, the west side.
Right.
Yeah. So and just knowing you're going to do stuff, find the free stuff to do. I've done a whole YouTube video on everything there's free to do on island.
So, I love that. All the free stuff to do in Hawaii. That's good. And it's good for tourism too, as well. So thank you so much for being on our little podcast today. And this is inside the world of real estate. And we just talked about Hawaii. We had this amazing, amazing agent who is just so great. And we just thank you for coming and being on our little podcast. And we hope to see you soon. And take care.
All right. Thanks.